Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Saturday morning. Hopefully, you guys are having a great start to your day and a great start to your weekend so far. Going to give you an update on what is going to happen weather-wise for your Saturday, April the 23rd. Rolling on through April, about to get close to May here as we get a little bit deeper into the warm and hot months. So there's a lot to talk about for today. Of course, I'm not going to make a 20-minute video discussing it, but it is a dynamic weather day with a blizzard that's really starting to crank up this morning across areas of the Dakotas, Montana and Wyoming especially. And then the threat for more severe weather today. There was a couple overnight tornadoes in South Dakota that happened, obviously overnight when it was nighttime. But, I was looking at the videos and it was crazy to see. So hopefully nobody was directly impacted by that. And hopefully you guys are safe this morning across the middle part of the country in the northern plains area. So if you guys have not subscribed, definitely consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. You guys got anything I can pray about, please put it in the comments below. As always, it gives me an opportunity to pray over it. It gives, more importantly, others an opportunity to pray over it. So let's get going here. A couple things to talk about. Just like I mentioned, let's take a look at the watches and warnings right now. Blizzard warnings up for all these counties, basically the entire western half of North Dakota. Three very large counties. You guys got some large counties up there in this neck of the woods up here in this part of the country. Compared to the counties here in the southeast, looks like about 5 or 6 counties could fit in one of y'all's counties. But I know y'all do everything different out there. But anyways, blizzard warnings up. Areas of eastern Montana also. Northwest areas of South Dakota. And then northeast counties of Wyoming have some blizzard warnings in effect with a couple winter storm warnings sprinkled in there. But definitely an impactful weather day up there today. We are going to have severe weather in the middle of the country right here. There is a slight risk up for a very large area. It's going to be kind of like yesterday, but I think the dynamics will be lacking as a whole to really have a big-time severe weather threat today compared to yesterday. And yesterday wasn't necessarily big. But it was big for whoever got impacted by the storm with large hail and a couple tornadoes reported in the middle of the country yesterday. But a slight risk up. This stretches almost all the way to the Canadian-U.S. border through Minnesota, where a triple point will set up here. And then there will be a slight risk of storms through Iowa, areas of Missouri, areas of eastern Kansas, and then right through the heart of Oklahoma and a very, very small section of Texas. There's going to be kind of two different points here today. There's going to be a tornado threat down here where you will have plenty of surface heating, but you will be lacking probably that shear and that basically that low-level winds that you really need for a tornado threat that you will definitely have up here, but you will probably be lacking some thermodynamics up here. But triple point area up here that will have a threat for tornadoes, just like you did here in areas of more western areas of South Dakota yesterday. This is shifting a little bit further northeast as the low pressure in general begins to kind of shift into Canada and deepen. But there will be some big-time surface heating down here today with some moist air nearby. So there will be a chance for some isolated supercells. Watch out, Oklahoma City. This might be a day where y'all see a big-time supercell form that does have the chance to produce a tornado, 5% risk. And then the wind threat is also there, but nothing too significant. Hail threat, kind of the same thing. Hail will be there if any supercells do get going here. So let's go on and take a look at precipitation-wise for the eastern U.S. I love using tropical tidbits when I do my morning videos. It's much easier to use and quicker to use, and it's much wider on the screen. But tropical tidbits is down this morning, so hopefully it'll be back up a little bit later today. But this is what's going on right now as far as precipitation for the eastern U.S. for your Saturday. I tell you, there is a dome of high pressure over the southeast, and I really wanted to show you guys this on a satellite visibility here because it looks awesome. It's a great learning thing for the audience because it shows how basically all the clouds are kind of pivoting around this dome of high pressure. You really start to see these in the summer, and they really influence the pattern and the steering currents of any kind of tropical systems that do form. So we'll end up talking more about that here in the coming months. But you basically have a dome of high pressure. So any kind of precipitation is just kind of wrapping around this. Basically on this side it goes northeast, then it goes easternly, then it goes southeast. So it just kind of wraps around the currents of this high pressure. But you might have some rain showers today in areas of the Northeast, especially interior areas of New York State mainly, and then it might drift into southern New England a little bit later today. So you might have some rain showers around in areas of western Mass and areas of Connecticut a little bit today in New York State. But you can see where some big-time storms are exploding here in Iowa. I'm going to take a deeper look at that here in a second. But you notice the Southeast is very quiet. All the states in the Southeast, Mid-South, Ohio Valley, relatively speaking, is pretty quiet. As far as temperature today, let me tell you, it's going to be an outstanding day. Pull the water hoses out, it is going to be a little humid in areas of the South. Not enough where you're going to say, gosh, it feels awful out here. But you're going to notice there's a little juice to the air out there in the Southeast today. 80s all the way up into Pittsburgh today. 80s all throughout the Ohio Valley. Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, this might be your warmest day of the year with highs well into the 80s. Chicago, you guys might hit at 80 degrees today. Michigan, the entire state of Michigan, 70s, and then 80s in the southern parts of the state. The Carolinas, 80s. Virginia, 80s. Even West Virginia getting into the 80s, maybe even mid-80s. Dome of high pressure is really going to bring the heat today across areas of basically the entire eastern U.S. unless you're in the Northeast where you typically just, it's very hard for you guys to warm up this time of the year. But you're getting there. You're getting there for sure, and y'all can, 60s, and then you're basically going to have a flow that really disrupts you guys in Boston off the immediate coast where it keeps you guys cool, but just inland you're well into the 60s in Massachusetts. But Florida, beautiful day. Sea breeze kicking, 70s and 80s for highs. And, just a beautiful day. It really is. You got any questions about your specific state, definitely hit me up, and I'll let you know. But Arkansas, beautiful. Tennessee, Missouri, well into the 70s and 80s for highs today. But let's talk about this severe weather threat today. Low pressure deepening big time over South Dakota. This will continue. And with it, we'll bring a little tail of energy. And you're going to have a threat for severe weather just south and southeast of this low pressure developing. You see this green here? A lot of that's snow. It shows up as green, and I'm about to show you that here in a second, but a lot of this is snow. So if you keep this rolling here, but a little bit later today, you are going to have some severe weather popping off. We're starting this off this morning, and we keep this rolling here in time, and bang, you're already seeing some convection firing up here in Minnesota and western areas of Minnesota, well up here in North Dakota. It's going to be a dynamic environment up here in the Dakotas near Minnesota where you're going to have some big-time surface heating wrapping all the way up to the triple point of this low pressure. And you're going to have cold air on the other side. When these things get negatively tilted, like this is getting, and you have a deepening low pressure, you have incredible dynamics close by. And what I mean by dynamics is you have a lot of cold air and sometimes winter weather in one area, and then not too far away, maybe just a couple hundred miles, you have severe weather. And, when these things get negatively tilted, they become very strong and dynamic like that. So tornadoes may be ongoing in portions, if you look at this, in portions of North Dakota. But at the same time, you're going to have a blizzard in the other area of North Dakota cranking up later this afternoon. So it's going to be a dynamic day. It's going to be wild. It really is. I'm very interested to see how this is going to unfold today. But if you play the triple point as a storm chaser today, you're liable to see a very photogenic tornado. As it's flat out here. So be careful, though, up in this area. It's not all about storm chasing and photogenic tornadoes and things like that. It's about people's safety. So be careful. A little bit later today, big-time surface heating as you get into the afternoon, evening hours really plays a role here, and big-time supercells potentially firing up here in Iowa and southern Minnesota, but you're lacking a little bit of the kinematics down here. And then you get this further in time, and then you're definitely lacking some forcing down here as the heights definitely aren't cooperating, as you definitely don't have any lowered heights in this region, meaning you're lacking forcing. I know that's getting really deep into the meteorological terms of things, but you're lacking forcing here, and you're probably going to have plenty of thermodynamics as heating is going to occur at the surface. Highs well into the 80s and close to 90 degrees. But just watch out. You could have some big-time storms exploding throughout the late afternoon here in Oklahoma City near Tulsa, areas of southern sections, especially southeast areas of Kansas. And this will continue and kind of congeal into a big blob of convection very quickly into the evening hours, stretching all the way from areas of maybe even Texas through Oklahoma, through Missouri, southeast Kansas, Iowa, Minnesota, moving into Wisconsin overnight. So just be careful with that. Big time surface heating occurring. You see how it hooks in like this? This is our triple point. Low pressure's right here. It tucks in and brings in all this moist air and this heating. So dynamic atmosphere, highs only in the 30s. Heavy wet snow blizzard type conditions going on in this area of the Dakotas. And then in this area, you have moist air getting wrapped into the low pressure. And big time surface heating occurring all the way, almost all the way into the Canada-U.S. border here in Minnesota and North Dakota. Heating getting into the 70s, getting into the 80s and close to 90, all the way up into Oklahoma, 80s for Kansas, and then a big time dynamic environment with a big time boundary setting up here in areas of Nebraska. One state, the eastern areas of the state, will be well into the 70s, close to 80. The other part of the state will be well into the 30s. So a dynamic atmosphere. Once you figure out where you are on this map, that's how warm you will get today. And it's going to be like I said, I know I didn't use the word a million times, but very dynamic day in the weather world for the middle and the northern part of the middle country here, that's for sure. But this is the blizzard. Look at the blizzard cranking up. I'm going to roll this all the way throughout the day. Snow falling in areas of Wyoming, especially eastern to northeastern Wyoming. I think the heaviest snow will probably fall in eastern areas of Montana, especially southeastern areas of Montana where the precipitation is the heaviest. But the entire western portion of North Dakota, and this is snow falling all the way into Nebraska, South Dakota, will really get slammed with this. Look at this deepening low pressure, 980 millibar low pressure, deepening and just kind of pivoting around. And then it finally gets kicked out here, but not before snow is falling all the way through Sunday morning in certain areas. And this is snow all the way through tomorrow morning. I mean, between now and tomorrow morning, 24 hours, not even 24 hours in certain spots. 1.5 feet of snow, almost 2 feet of snow could fall. That's 1 to 2 to 3, 4 inch per hour rates falling in this region right here. So this snow is going to fall heavy, it's going to fall fast, and it's going to be wind-driven snow. So be careful in these areas today, for sure. A lot of snow is going to fall very fast, and it's not like you're going to have this dry, powdery like snow flying around in the winds. This is going to be heavy, wet, wind-driven snow, which typically do not vibe together very well. But as far as out west, you guys are going to be pretty quiet. Except some back-end convective moisture that really fires up here in western areas of Montana, Idaho, down all the way down to Utah. But we'll see how this happens today. But nothing too crazy going on as far as temperatures. Got the cooler temperatures with this influence of this cold front wrapping around through this portion of the country. But you're starting to heat up again in areas of the western U.S., the valleys. Seattle might hit 60 degrees today. And then the valley towns and cities of Oregon and Washington State, all the way down to Northern California, well into the 60s. Mountains obviously stay cool due to elevation, but the valleys of North Carolina are in for a very nice day today with 60s and 70s, close to 80s for highs. So that's all I got. It's going to be a wild day across the northern part of the country today, but you guys stay safe out there. I have y'all with video tonight. Thank y'all for tuning in. God bless everybody. Have a great day.